raining up here. That's the difference how dirty it was. Today I got this whole bit cleaned and painted one coat, but it is starting to rain, so I'm a wee bit worried about it drying and being fully waterproof for it raining. It's been going for about half an hour and they say an hour for it to be fully waterproof. So, I mean, it's a bit obviously messy because it needs another coat as well, but it's looking, hold on, take that brush out of the way. Look at it though, like look at that, how nice is that? Obviously needs a second coat. We've managed to get, obviously I said, all these black bits off, and we've actually painted up and down a wee bit so that when we put the black back on, it's you can't see any orange, but the plant, look how rusty bits are. So the plan is to, I've done these two but the rain got to it before it dried and they're all dotty, so the plan is to sand them down, and I've got like a gloss spray to spray them, and then like that'll be so much nicer once it's like all painted. Also that's not the bit of it. I've got a few bits we might need to fiberglass. Apart from that, it's looking all actually really good. Like, I'm so chuffed with that. Look, now that that's there, oh my goodness, amazing. dry before I can do any of this. But we're going to go to the back doors. bugger. Why did I do that? 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 Another injury. Scratched on the solar panel. Clip these two free on. Look how good that looks. I've got these two on because we're missing one for here. But that looks so neat. Lovely. The plastic, hold on. Plastic is on and clean. How incredible does that look? Just need to clean the tyres. There's still some orange, I can see it's annoying me, but yay!
At 8 AM it was that freezing and by 1:30 it was fine again.
Alright. I've ordered so many bits because like we're missing this bit and we're missing that bit down there. So I've ordered, this one's came in, so I'm going to get that on. And then I'm going to, the gap between that. I'm going to try finish these because look at the state of them. And hopefully we can get them sanded and painted. So I've got all the stickers off the doors, now it's just for sanding and painting. The only reason, as you can see, like there's no strength in this door at all. Like I've took it off and look how rusty it all is. The only reason I'm actually painting it is because Kai doesn't want to drive about with unpainted doors, so he said we have to paint them. So I'm going to do that because I do understand, like if you look at why would you want to drive by like that, yeah. But so I'm going to get it sanded and painted and then it's done. But I'll go get it all sorted just now. guys. We'll have a look at this back door. It won't open. My dad said that's it for it. Okay, so I'll show you when we go back down when I get free from our Charlotte's team. I've got paint in my hair and everything. We got the back doors finished. I have fixed the handle, which was a bit of a nightmare. I had to take it off a few times to actually see how it goes together. And we had to WD-40 it because it was really tight, and I think that's maybe how it's pinged off and broke, because when we've opened it, it's been so tight to close that it's not closed right, or I don't know. But anyway, I managed to get it on. I've WD-40'd it. So I've WD-40'd it, closed it, and now we can open it for the outside. So hopefully that's fine for the MOT. And we've done 2 coats of paint on the back doors. So now all we have to do is tape them up for the MOT. We're going to go get an envelope and a stamp and get it sent out for its V5. Get its V5 sent out to change it to green in a 5-seater. And then once that's done, it's hopefully going to be in for its MOT by the end of this week. Fingers crossed if it comes back that quick. If not, as soon as we get it back, we'll insure it and get it down for its MOT. So that is exciting. Yeah! So that is exciting news to end this week's video on, I think. So yeah, if you like this video, give it a like, subscribe, and check out next week's video to see if we get it MOT'd.